Like the pigeons, the old men flocked to the park to sit on the benches. The old men drink what's left of last night's paper-sacked wine. The pigeons drink from the fountain and fluff their feathers against the morning chill. The old men fluff the layers of their wrinkled clothing to chase away the chilly memory of last night, huddled in some alley doorway. When the sun has warmed them, the pigeons fly off to find whatever has been discarded or left behind. The old men shuffle off to do the same, looting and pillaging the dumpsters to ease hunger's pain.
Billy, look, I gotta go down. Yeah, I want you to do that.
Later they gather again, the pigeons and old men. This time on corners and in doorways, up and down the busy byways, panhandling quarters and dimes, dropped popcorn and crumbs from the passers-by. Fishing the tourists and bleeding hearts, each using a different baited line. The pigeons hoping for a full belly, the old men for enough change to buy another bottle of wine and escape into the hazy world of less troubled times. They are the abandoned, the betrayed, each one broken in some similar, different way. Gathered on corners and in the alleys of our cities and towns, with bedrolls and begging bowls, panhandling quarters and dimes, derelicts set adrift, unwanted and unclaimed, damaged goods, signs of the times. I lie here dying in 100 small ways, from voices crying my name down nameless hallways. And the clock keeps ticking, eating up the time, and I'm down to the last of the wine. My stomach growling at the movement my hand makes in reaching out toward the disappearing hand shapes, and the room keeps turning slowly in my mind, and I'm down to the last of the wine. And I crawl on my belly through the night, and I dream of dying in the sunlight. As unseen shadows in the morning start to harden, I rise up singing to the angel in my garden, some dark and different angel of another kind. And I'm down to the last of the wine, and the angel never taught me to pray. And I die with the dying of the day. I will probably never see El Monte on a Sunday, or El Segundo washed by winter rain. I never knew these towns existed, if they do, outside of the obituary page that states how many boys came home today in boxes made of steel. I'm well aware that some have died from Chicago too, but it's the El Nowhere towns I think about this morning, and young men the whole town knew. Today, some children running down the hill were shouting out, "The war is over." They must have had some private war of words in mind, not the one I'm paying for.
do we go?
The one that's killing off the boys I see on airplane rides, staring into space in search of El Dorado. Sometimes I ask them where they're from. El Paso is the answer, or El Monte. And so they take the tinsel from our lives on airplane rides across the sea. And like the silver in our dimes, it won't come back until we question why. El Monte's just 10 minutes from LA. To some, I'm told, it seems like El Dorado when it rains. Just the same, I doubt I'll ever go there on a Sunday. O Cain, had you only known that dreadful day, the horror you had done, condemned all those who came after you to the dread and agony of war, all those boys doomed to die before they became men, all those men to come home, never to be boys again. On that fateful black day, you committed all mankind to the futile hopelessness of endless war. Here in this place, once called Eden. Wars are waged by the rich and the powerful to gain more wealth and power. Wars are fought by simple men like you and I in the name of honor, God, and country. The fruits of war, the bitter and the sweet, are divided equally between. The sweet, hoarded and coveted by the rich and the powerful. The bitter, carried and remembered by all those simple folk who fought and died from both sides. So it is, so it was, so it seems it always will be. War and its horrors, its wreckage, waste, and carnage, invented and waged by the few, fought and paid for by the many, here in this place, once called Eden. Off they go, just boys, not yet men, so hastily prepared. Oh, but how can you prepare someone for hell when they've never been? And as someone once said, war is hell. When the lull comes, that temporary peace, until the next war begins, they march them back home again, the ones that are left. The dregs of war come limping home in hollow victory or bitter defeat, here in this place once called Eden. Yes, back they come, no longer the boys they were, but now too soon aged men. Some never to walk or run again, never to race down a wooded path, never to feel the surf and sand tickle their toes again. Some never to throw a ball again, never to hold a young girl's hand, never to use one or two hands or perhaps their arms again. Some never to see the sun again, never to see a young girl's blush, never to see a child smile, and for that matter, anything ever again. Some doomed to silence, never to live in the world of sound again, never to hear the music, never to hear the magic of laughter, or someone say, "I love you," ever again. Some come back so damned afraid, broken by the carnage, the loss, and the killing. Poor tortured minds so repulsed by it all, simply erased everything. Some come back in coffins or body bags to lie beneath neat rows of white crosses, or left behind in some foreign land, lost forever in an unmarked grave. Of these, some will say they are the lucky ones. They are forever done. Yes, back they come until the next one. Boys that left only to return too soon aged men. The heroes and the losers from both sides. the living and the dead, the legacy of war. And the saddest part of it all, no one learned a damn thing here in this place once called Eden. Some of them fall like snowflakes in the winter chill. Some of them fall with no sound at all and just roll down the hill. Some of them fall like acorns in the forest dense, strung on a line, steel so fine, it makes a barbed wire fence. Some of their names are Eddie. Some of their names are Joe. I can't say why some of them die. That's not for me to know. Some of them fall like raindrops on a summer day. There in the ditch, the poor and the rich with hardly a chance to pray. Some of them fall like seagulls off in a foreign land. The blood from their cuts, the life from their guts spread over the silver sand. And some of the names are Peter, and some of the names are Bill. I don't know why some of them die. I guess I never will. He died last night, cold and all alone in the alley. They found him there this morning, curled up in a doorway. The report will read, died from exposure. It just got too cold. But those who know will say he died from lack of hope and a dream. No relatives will come to claim his last remains. No one even knew his real name. No one will weep upon his grave and wish he'd had a better place to sleep, nor care that he died cold and lonely in the street. No friends or loved ones will gather round to mourn this passing. No eulogies will be read. Very little will be said, if anything at all. He was just a wino, another homeless beggar who pestered the passers-by and died last night, cold and all alone in the alley. Remember how we spent the night time counting out the stars? Too late for the beaches, too early for the bars. All of us together would raise our glasses high and drink a toast to times gone by. The times, oh, we had some times when the world was the color of neon signs. Each of us and all of us killed our dreams with rye and tried to crowd a lifetime into times gone by. Remember how the Sunday morning bells were always ringing, and out on the waterfront we'd hear the big men singing? In some long forgotten time, some August or July. Even then we'd talk about the times gone by. The times, oh, we had some times when love cost only nickels and dimes. Always when our secret needs were hard to satisfy, we'd talk of going back again to times gone by. The times, you know, we had some times with gentlewomen and vintage wines. But that was when we didn't know our youth was passing by. Now all we have to think about are times gone by.